Welcome to The Explainer. So have you ever walked into a store and wondered why that one thing you want is always sold out while other stuff just sits there collecting dust? Well, the answer usually comes down to a really critical business process that we're going to break down today: inventory management.
This right here, this is the classic balancing act every single business has to deal with. I mean, think about it. On one side, having a warehouse overflowing with products you can't sell, that's just cash, sitting there, tied up. But on the flip side, an empty shelf right when a customer wants to buy something? Oof, that's not just one lost sale. You might have just lost a customer for good.
And that's exactly where inventory management comes into play. It's the whole system, the strategy for finding that perfect Goldilocks zone. Not too much, not too little. It's all about making sure the entire operation, from buying raw materials to selling the final product, runs like a well-oiled machine.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get into what inventory really is. Then we'll explore why managing it is so incredibly important. After that, we'll uncover some of the hidden costs of getting it wrong, and we'll wrap up with the ultimate goal, hitting that perfect level.
So to really get this, we kind of have to change how we think about the word inventory. See, it's not just the finished product sitting in a box. It's more like a journey, with a few different stages along the way.
Let's just use a t-shirt company as an example. Their inventory starts out as raw materials, right? We're talking about cotton, dye, thread, the basic building blocks. Then that stuff moves into the work-in-progress stage. Now it's cut fabric, maybe some partially sewn shirts, and only at the very end does it become a finished good, a t-shirt, all packaged up and ready to be sold.
And that's really the main takeaway for this part. Inventory isn't just one thing. It's the entire physical journey, from the smallest screw or piece of thread all the way to that finished product you're holding in your hands. Okay, so now we know what it is. Let's dig into the why. Why is it so absolutely vital for a company's health, even its survival, to get a handle on all this stuff? Well, it really boils down to a few major goals. First, you want to make sure that when a customer wants your product, it's actually there for them. Second, you've got to avoid sinking money into way too much stock that just sits there. Third, you need to keep your production line moving. You can't have everything grind to a halt because you ran out of one little part. And when you do all that right, you improve the company's finances. It's that simple.
You see, you can draw a straight line from a well-managed stockroom to happy customers and a healthy bottom line. This isn't just some boring logistical exercise. It's a core engine that drives business success.
And this brings us right to the central challenge here. Inventory management is this constant, tricky balancing act between two very different but very real sets of costs.
This lays it out perfectly. If you have way too much stock, you're bleeding money on storage, you're risking stuff getting damaged or just becoming totally obsolete, not to mention your cash is all tied up. But if you have too little stock, now you're talking about lost sales, unhappy customers, stopping production, and paying a fortune for emergency shipping. Either mistake is just incredibly expensive.
So the bottom line is pretty clear. Whether your warehouse is overflowing or your shelves are totally empty, your business is leaking money. It's a huge financial drain either way.
So if both extremes are so bad, what's the answer? Well, it's not about just picking a lot or a little. The real goal is to find that perfect equilibrium, that sweet spot, right in the middle. And that sweet spot, it has a name. It's called the optimum level of inventory. You could almost call it the holy grail of this whole field. It's that precise amount of stock where you keep all those different costs as low as possible, while still making sure you can meet customer demand.
And that's really the perfect way to picture it. Good inventory management isn't just about being in the right neighborhood, it's about hitting a specific bullseye, a target that takes a ton of data, constant monitoring, and lots of adjustments to hit over and over again.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. The next time you see one of those sold-out signs, ask yourself, is this product just so popular they can't make it fast enough? Or are you actually looking at the result of a costly mistake, a failure in that company's inventory management? Something to think about.